Okay, I am back with a very different project today. So I'm starting with this because this was my first try at something called neurograph or neurographic art. Do you remember when we were kids and we just did doodling and scribbling and all this little stuff on pages, right? And then we colored it in? Well, now there was a Russian guy in 2014 or 15 that came out with this, and they're actually using it to help people with their mental state of mind and relaxing. Well, let me just declare right now, I am not degreed. I have not the knowledge or anything like that. I am doing this for fun, okay? So this was my first one, and I put the marker on or the pen and just started doodling, okay? Then I started reading up on it, and it says, go in directions that you wouldn't normally go. Draw around in different directions. If your body tells you to go right, go left. Don't watch TV during it. Have a clear mind. Get in touch with your feelings. Hey, hang with me. Don't run off. So this, y'all, is so relaxing. It really is. And after I started coloring, then I got my Posca pens out and I started writing in some of the areas like create, party, respect, proctor, my last name, magical, smile, love, just different wiggle lines, different colors, different shapes. Something like this is a perfect time for you to try color blending. This started out from green to red. Yeah, I found out I don't like that. So, but I also found out I love this. I love this. I love these colors. I love the way this looks. So it's a big, big learning thing about colors for us that are in the coloring book world. So then I want to show you how to get started. This one's still not finished. How to get started. I would suggest a pencil because, well, I guess we could do pen. I'm going to use marker on this. I've got my Tombow again. And the first one I did, I actually used the Zig Ball. And it's actually like a really fine tip. So I was going over all the lines twice. Then I found with this, if I use the brush end, I did not get even markings. So I went to this end. So let's just start playing. Normally my brain says, because I'm upside down from you, it says go bottom left up towards the right and to go up. So instead, I'm going to start over here and I'm going to go down. And I'm just going to do weird things. Okay? Don't stop there. Fill the whole page. Realize on my first one, I left the outside areas. This time I'm going all the way off the page. Why not? So start down here, off the page. If I came around, it would come back on here. Then we're going to crisscross around, do some circles, some little loopies. We just want to fill this page up. We want to get little areas to color. And you can make this, well, I love this mat, go off the side, it doesn't matter. You can make this as busy or as simple as you want. See, I was getting into a pattern there, so I changed it up. So I've got one long area here to color, So I'm going to go ahead and just come on the page and back off. Now that's going to be interesting to color. It's probably going to end up as a black line. And we're going to get into how to make those lines in a little bit. So just kind of stick with me. It's going to be okay. Now I'm going to turn this just so that it's easier for me to get to it. And I'm going to keep going because I know I want to break up these shapes. Okay. There is no right or wrong. This is whatever you feel like doing. You're in an angry mood, get some shapes out there. You're in a happy mood, do something different. Okay, so that's fine. Now, in the interest of time, here's the one I'm currently working on. Do you see the difference? The lines are thicker, and look at all the intersections. They're rounded. Normally when I'm coloring, I'm telling you to go deeper in the triangles, in your V's. There are no V's in this. You're going to sit down on every one of these V's and knock it out. Okay, every one of them. And I made all my lines thicker first. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to work on all these V's. Is something a little botched up looking? It's all right. Have your line come a little further up. Now this one, all I can do is knock off the corners or completely color it in. I decided to knock off the corners. That way I can still put just a little dot of color in there later. Do you see everything is going curved? Who knew? I mean, we did this when we were kids, but we didn't do the curves and such. We just did the little scribbling thing and then colored all the spaces in. So what this did for me, one thing, I was getting over my back pain when I started doing this, when I had locked up my back, and it helped me to relax. I was able to experiment with different colors. I didn't have to stay in anybody's lines in a coloring book. I got to just go at it and do whatever I wanted to do. Just curve all your little areas. I will admit I don't sit in a quiet room and do this. I actually sit and do all these curves and double lines, usually in front of the TV. But I'm still able to really, really relax in this. So you're just going to keep doing that. Now let me show you something, because I can hear somebody, I can't get lines that smooth. Okay, look at that. Do you see how jagged some of those lines are? Here, let's get in focus. So like this one right here, I just make sure I put a dark color in there to cover that up. No big deal. This one, let me show you. See how that line is jagged? When you start doing your lines, start where there's an intersection, okay? So like here, and then see where it's looped out some there? See that? And then again, I can make sure I put a dark color there. You might say, why an intersection? If you mess up and your lines don't meet up, it's easier for me to fix them if they're at an intersection. It's easier for me to come through like this than to go like this. Then I've got to make sure I've got it wider, but now it shows. So now I've got to be sure that when I start up again, that I meet up with that same spot. And see, it didn't meet exact, so I have to go back over it again. Now my lines aren't the same length. Here I've got this going on. Now I've got to come around here, and I got off the line. And that one didn't meet up. If I go from point to point, see from where it intersects, I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's a brain thing, it's just easier. And notice I'm just turning that paper. Now, if you're using a pen that does not dry immediately, you need to really be careful and not put your hand back in it. So I might do a little over here, okay? And then I might turn the paper and do some over on this side. So by doing one area, then another, it keeps my hand from smearing all that up. So again, go from an intersection to an intersection, and then if they don't meet up, when you come back in and start doing all these little curves, you're going to hide that. See? Yeah, that's just going to get colored in. There's no way. But you see how you're doing the curves? And those curves can hide a multitude of things that are going on. Okay, how about one that has, let's see, let's go back to the one I was working on. Here's one that has like multiple intersections. How do we figure that out? The same way, you're going to look. It's going to curve, color it, curve it, color. Now, do your curves have to start and stop at the same point? No, not at all. So like I might start all the way up here and curve and go over to there. And then on this one, I might curve way down here. As long as you've got your curve, I can start all the way back here and do a big curve. Over here, I can do a tiny curve. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you get all your V's gone. Get rid of all those V's. What if we have multiple things going through one point? Okay, let's look at one. Right here, look at that mass. Okay, start in one area, do your curve, color it, your curve, your curve, your curve. Now let's start the next one, your curve. Just do them in order. That got colored in. Curve, curve. Straighten up this curve a little. And see, that whole thing is done. And we're just going to come over here and look. Just going to keep curving. Clean up anything that looks like it needs cleaned up. If something looks like it needs a little bit bigger curve on it, do a little bit bigger curve. That's okay. Did I get all of them? No, we have some right here. Am I still in? Yes, I am still in the camera. Okay, so curve. That's already curved. Those are all done. And see, this isn't as big of a curve. We just got that tip off. The thing is, sharp edges are more demanding, and curves are softer and more gentle. Okay? So the more curves you can put in, the softer your piece is going to look. Now, what if our black lines are not all the same thickness? I'm not worried about it. Once you start coloring, you're not going to realize if something is as thick as something else. You're just not going to. Let's go back and look at this one. Those lines are not even as thick as these. Okay, let's look at the one that's almost done. That's the whole page. You can't tell how thick the lines are and aren't once you've got your art done. Okay, once you've got that all in there, you're going to be fine. Okay, I will tell you, keep your marker handy that you're using. The reason I used this pen on the first one was because I was playing with watercolor and I know it was permanent. These are water-based, so if I start using water on either one of these, I could be in trouble. Okay, so keep that in consideration if you decide to do one of these. I would love, love, love to know in the comments. See, I'm talking and I just saw some that weren't done. I would love to know in the comments if you do one of these. Just one, just try it. And it's not finished till you're finished, so go ahead and do the whole thing and then come back and tell me what you think. Were you able to relax? Did it stress you? You know, I'd love to know. And there was one spot in here where when I was doing my curves, I saw a cross. And I was like, ooh, when I color that, I'm going to put those spots together. Here it is right here. Do you see the cross right there? So I'm actually going to do this whole thing as one section. You can do that. There are no rules. Look how this is a circle. Do it as a circle. You don't have to do each one separate. Okay? You decide. Now, how do you know what colors? That is as easy as this. Open your case, pull a color, pull a color. Yeah. Don't even know, but we're going to find out. I'm going to do this just like when I'm coloring in my books. I'm going to go heavy, and then I'm going to get lighter. And I did use my cardstock on this. So I'm going to go heavy. And then I'm going to get lighter. And I'm trying to get all the tooth out. Now, if you were with me in my last video, you know exactly what tooth is. If you missed the last video, go back and pick it up. It is discovering the difference in the tooth in different papers. Okay? Or something like that. I forget exactly what the title is. But it is exploring the tooth of the paper. Okay? There's that one. I'm going to purposely do that cross next. Now, I'm telling myself, I usually don't look at the colors I pull when I'm doing these, but I know I want something in purple because purple is royalty to me. So I'm actually going to grab the violet and then I'm just going to grab something nearby. It doesn't matter. This is the place where you can just grab pencils and go. Just grab and go. And because I know that I am going to treat this as all one thing, I'm overlapping further up. Do you see how easy this is? And it's really mindless. And believe it or not, my brain is like a computer with like 10 windows open at once. And when I'm doing this, I feel like there's like 2 or 3 windows open. I'm not thinking about all the housework that there is to do later. I'm not thinking about a load of laundry or the dishwasher that's clean that needs emptying. I'm really not thinking about any of that. I am just coloring this. Hopefully I was in screen when I pulled that. First one. Let's see here. And I can be heavy-handed on this and not worry about it. And it looks kind of like stained glass. But how fun. Just relaxing. Just doing some coloring. And I'm going to start up here. And I'm going to move down. So are there rules that say you have to do each area? No, not at all. And look how wonderfully that is blending on this paper. This is that cardstock that I told you about in the last video. That's what I used. You don't have cardstock, but you'd like to try this? Grab a sheet of typing paper. It's okay, you're playing. You're not going to be able to blend colors as much as I am, but you're still going to get the feel of, wow, do I like doing that? Do I want to buy some cardstock so that I can do some of these? Yeah. If you've got kids or grandkids, sisters, brothers, whatever, try to get them to sit down and do one. Fun, fun. We did these as little kids. And it just takes you back to that creative side of your brain. Look at that. Okay? So that's what we're working on. Try it. Let me know if you try it. I can pull any color. I can just go take my pencils. Okay, let's swap over to this page. Oh, that's going to be different. Let's see what happens. You never know with this form of art if you're going to have a happy accident. All right? Meaning, are we going to find 2 colors that we really love blending that we didn't know that we could even blend before? Remember on my first part of this video, I told you I tried a red and a green, and I knew, ooh, I don't like blending those 2 colors. But look at this. I do like that together, and when everything else around there gets done, that's going to be pretty cool. In case you were wondering, this is Sky Blue Light 1086 and Deco Pink 1014. Okay, so comments, please let me know. Are you doing this? Would you give it a try and then get back to me and tell me what you think? Because I'm thinking it's kind of fun. Now, wait a minute, you don't have a lot of pencils? That's okay. Do you have a 12 count of Crayola pencils? Do it. Do you have some crayons? Do it. Have fun. Okay, so I'm going to be watching for comments. I want to know what you think. Is it fun? Is it really relaxing your brain? Do you feel more creative? All right, again, I'm no expert on this, but I can tell you it was fun and I enjoyed it. All right, you know, I have a dishwasher that needs emptied, so I probably need to go. Y'all have fun, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.